What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to the Apothecary Diaries, this time with Season 2, Episode 6, I believe. Fantastic episode last time out with us seeing Jinchi's performance replicating the Moon Spirit, I think the name of her was. Again, awesome first half. One of you guys did let me know, thank you, in the comment sections why the episodes felt a little bit... you could very much tell more than usual there was like two parts to the episode. I think the person said that is because there was 3 chapters covering this, so inevitably they're going to have to leave one out and add it somewhere else, which makes total sense. And again, it wasn't a massive issue; it just was a little bit more noticeable than usual. On that point, I've actually been, well, not really on that point, but I've been playing a game called 9 Souls recently, which I'm really enjoying, and that's I've noticed a few kind of similar things like the pavilions and such in that game that are in this show. I think they're both based on Chinese kind of history loosely with that game, I think. Again, I don't know too much about Chinese history, and it's difficult as hell, but I'm really enjoying it. And if it can help me learn a few things about, again, Chinese history, then that'll come in quite handy for this show, I think. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this episode down in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. If I remember correctly, at the end of last episode, we had the old woman discover that Mao Mao is making medicine, which is not allowed, unfortunately. So hopefully she doesn't speak up or anything, but that could be an issue. And that leads me on to the thing again I've been worried about this whole time: people targeting Mao Mao. She might end up telling someone or something that might have a grudge against her, or yeah, she could use it to bribe her and so on. There's so many ways this could go terribly. And they could also use and abuse her as well. Like, if you don't help us, we'll tell everyone. You'll never make medicine again. Like I said, there's just so many ways that it's just not a good thing. Okay. Well, she's already making medicine for people, so not that big an issue. Okay, she's going about this a nice way. I like that. Again, she could have bribed her or took this a different direction. I like the fact that she's come out and just asked for her help. You got some kind of infection. Also, again, this is also like awfully nice of this old woman, right? She's just like some random woman seemed ill. She could have just easily ignored her. It's quite lovely of her to worry this much about a stranger. And perhaps this motherly kind of instinct that Mao Mao talked about a second ago, which changed to intelligence just now, but and that hint of kind of motherhood. What was that? A lizard. The lizard tail, I think. Kind of looked like a worm, didn't it? Oh shit. Never a great place for blood to come out of. I mean, I can think of a few areas where I wouldn't want blood to come out of, but yeah, the mouth, not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. I think it was a rule I used to follow horror back in the day. I don't think it counts quite as much now because they try and like subvert expectations so much. But it used to be a thing of if you ever threw up or bled out of your mouth or any blood came out of your mouth, you're pretty much assured to be dead in like any horror movie. Again, that's not so much the case now, I don't think. That was always like an unwritten rule. But yeah, this is called like the Crystal Pavilion. I think there's like a Jade Pavilion. There's like jades in the game I said I was playing earlier. Like I said, I'm getting a few more kind of terminology things down, I think. So I know it's subtle, but it's done quite a good job of looking quite different here, Mao Mao. Little short little fat guy. He sounded like a dog panting. I mean, obviously, it still looks like Mao Mao, but like I said, it's quite a subtle. That subtle difference is actually quite big. I don't know why. And you know, it's always serious when Mao Mao sounds like that. She's always usually quite monotone and it's that steady pace to her voice. But I really like it. I love her voice actor in general, but I like those moments where sounds like a bit of a different person when there's no time to spare like that. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, that is, yeah. So that's what the flowers are for. Oh, hmm, interesting. Oh shit. Oh shit. So she's the woman we saw earlier on this season. Who was yeah? Who opened the same box? Oh shit. So yeah, so it's not quite a revenge, but it's kind of like, well, why is my consort, the person she's under, why has she got to deal with these medical issues and these babies, having such issues creating babies? Why is she so cursed with this, and why does everyone get to live so happily? I'll curse them as well. It's kind of one of those things of again, not quite revenge, but something in kind of like a similar fashion. Okay, like I said, we saw an image for maybe a couple seconds earlier this season with someone arranging these bottles and doing all this, and yeah, no idea it would be her. I thought it was someone that was what's the word for it? Ill. I thought it was like because we heard them coughing a little bit, but I guess they were actually just coughing at the kind of fumes that was right in front of them, which seems pretty simple to understand. But I judged it like, oh, they were coughing. That means they're an ill person. No, they were just coughing at these horrible poisonous fumes, and it ended up being her. Okay. Abortion. Well, that's essentially what. I don't know if I'd call it a pill. It's not exactly a pill, is it? Yeah, an abortion scent. I think it's the hair, isn't it? That I mean, her face looks exactly the same. I think the hair really, again, it changes quite a lot of her face. Just goes to show how powerful haircuts can be. I think you've been exposed. Been exposed. What must it have smelt like in there? Dying woman and horrible perfumes. Awful, I imagine. unfortunately. How were you turning this around? The look in your face proved that. The reaction you gave us proved that. And now you stick. Yes. Ooh, right. Cat scratch. Almost look like whiskers. Oh, again, there's that not proof. They're not the actions of a guilty party. Damn. Oh, that's ruthless. Maybe she's gonna die. Was she? Sabotaging her own blood? Her own cousin? No. I said earlier about her like being a potential revenge. I thought it was for Gyoko, considering again the clothes that we had earlier on the season, which were a bit fishy, and yeah, some of the ongoings with what was going on with Gyoko earlier on the season. Like I said, I thought she was getting some kind of divine kind of judgment upon the others. Oh, if my cousin can't have a baby, then no one is. That kind of deal. But she's actually been sabotaging her own cousin. We'll just go back a minute. Apologies, guys. Again, this story's been building this whole season, hasn't it? And I'm glad to see it kind of paying off now. Again, it's been there's been subtle bits here and there that have been adding up towards this, hasn't there? And they all stick in your mind as well, which is like the great thing. You don't like forget any of these little details that have been adding up. Hmm. I don't really understand this bit. So she made sure that she had people loyal to her. That's why there's so little of them. So she's jealous. Makes sense. I mean, they do look almost identical. Yeah, it does make sense. I wouldn't say she's quite as cute though. I think Lihu was. Oh yeah, their boobs as well, of course. The main part, of course. No, but on a real note, Lihu is definitely a bit more beautiful, isn't she? Pretty much. Again, this is such guilty behaviour. She's got to just chuck the whole fucking box at her. What would that have done? I mean, I don't think that would have done anything. It would have just hurt a little bit having a bunch of perfume thrown at you. Oh, she's done her wrist. Damn. I want to see this. Holy crap. You're ruthless. No, she's not. Jesus. What a woman. Yeah, it is. Like I said earlier, she could have been done for executing one of the emperor's kids, which I again imagine would get you killed, or some maybe worse. It is quite evident who did deserve to be in that position now, doesn't it? Okay, well that's cleared that situation up, and less confusing than I thought it was actually. Yeah, that's was it the flowers? I don't really know. Ah, was that someone leaving us a? Sorry to pause again. I won't bother sorting out the time because I've only got a couple of minutes left. Was that someone leaving us a clue then? They said white and green was was meant to symbol like said to be good for someone's health. Yeah, is that someone giving us a clue then? Is that someone being like, oh, I'm going to plant these? Maybe it's not a clue per se, but maybe it was just someone being nice and just saying, oh, I know that there's a poor woman in here suffering, so I'm going to plant these flowers to pray for good health for her, and that inevitably ended up being a clue for Mau Mau, I guess, or maybe there it was intended to be a clue. I doubt it, but yeah. A lot of this stuff from the caravan's been super suspect, hasn't it? There is still more to this, isn't there? There is still more to this. It's quite funny how well that scratch kind of suits her. Like I said earlier, it's almost like some whiskers. If only she had some on the other side, it would actually look quite normal. So this is the girl that planted those. Okay. Again, she helped out a lot unintentionally. I mean, well, I guess her kind of faith and hope in the flowers of making her better actually did come to pass in a way, didn't they? Which is quite ironic. Sorry to pause again, but it really is when you think about it. It's like she prayed to a higher being. Again, I'm an atheist, so of course I don't believe in things like that. But she like prayed and hoped and wished and planted and hope again dreamed that this maid would get better. And it's quite funny how that kind of faith side of things kind of mixed in with the kind of scientific Mau kind of medicinal kind of side of things, how they kind of mixed into one. That hope actually led to the scientific kind of outcome and detective-ish kind of outcome of Mau discovering where she was and inevitably going to be helping her now. I quite like that. Again, as much as I say I'm an atheist and such, I do quite appreciate a lot of the stuff on like faith and prayer and religion. I won't ever disrespect it. That's something that, of course, I'm watching a lot with Orb on the movements of the Earth recently, of course. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Of course, we've got a little preview at the end, of course, but really good episode today. Really good episode. A lot of drama. Again, I kind of got a bit mixed up on the situation, as I mentioned earlier on in the episode. I thought it was her going to be sabotaging Gyokyo and the other consorts, but she was actually sabotaging her own family, and I can understand why, but I don't agree with it. I mean, there are those things in the real world, aren't there? Of like, I mean, even if you're not related, it's like someone. It's never as good as you think it is, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's people out there that are born into billions and millions of pounds and born into such prosperous situations, and you could be born homeless. Doesn't mean that that person that is born with those billions has a better life than you, even though they've got more money. They still have their own issues of like, oh, I've never actually achieved anything. I never actually need to achieve anything in my life to live a life. What kind of life is that? A very unfulfilling life. That's why you see a lot of I've been seeing a lot recently about this like Kodak Black guy on my Twitter who's an absolute drughead. And you turn to stuff like that to kind of feel different and to, yeah, going a bit too deep on that point now, and I'm not going to go any further with that. But yeah, just because you're seemingly more successful or less successful doesn't actually mean your kind of quality of life or your who you are as a person is any less or more than another person. Shrine of choosing, as I was just talking about, I feel like it's actually quite a curse. Sometimes to be in those and to be picked for those positions. Like again, Lady Luhua, I'm pronouncing that horribly, so apologies. But she's had to deal with this. She's had to deal with bloody all these pregnancies going wrong, having these abortion perfumes on her, and like she's had her own hardships. We saw her struggle a lot in the first season, didn't we? We saw a lot of her kind of issues. So as I just said, even though she was in a higher position per se, her kind of quality of life, her life was pretty awful in that first season. I mean, if you compare that to like a homeless person in this age, I mean, obviously the lifestyles are very different, but I think one very much appreciates their life a little bit more and appreciates the little things a little bit more, perhaps. Perhaps that's a really bad comparison, but hopefully you kind of get what I'm trying to say there. She should have just been happy with the position she was given. She was in quite a high position. She got to look after her cousin, who was just like one. Yeah, obviously she feels like she should have been in that position, but maybe take a step back. Like I said, like look at the people who appreciate a lot more having a lot less. And yeah, but as I was saying, awesome episode again. A lot of the details are kind of building up and building up. Not just about this mystery, because this is again inevitably even going to be a part of a kind of bigger mystery, just a bit like season one, where a lot of the kind of smaller stories and the stories that we still loved kind of added up to create that situation at the end of the season, which was a bit of a culmination of everything. I think that might be happening again this season with these kind of little stories adding up, and still there's mysteries going on with the caravan stuff. As I said a minute ago, it almost feels like everything this caravan kind of dealership people brought in was here to destroy to destroy this place. It kind of feels like, doesn't it? But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this episode down in the comment section. As I said, another fantastic episode. Loved Lihiwa's kind of ruthless moments here at the end. That was awesome. Loved Mao Mao's as well. She got all defensive and stuck up for the maids that, again, just a worthless life that just get thrown out. Again, it makes total sense. Like, I think of like the plague and stuff. It is so much safer just to like get rid of a person with an illness like that than keep them and try and kind of fix them or help them. It's a lot more safe, but it is also like, yeah, that is a human life you're throwing out. So yeah, totally get Mao protect them. Although I do understand that it is logical to just kind of keep away from everyone. But yeah, do let me know, you guys, again, thought about this in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you guys would like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date. And I'll see you guys next week with episode 7.